Hello, welcome. I was just the little delay as I was typing something in, which I need to hit return on. Bear with me a moment. There we go. It's good to see you all. Happy New Year to all of you. It's great to see. We've got a dozen people on already, and we've only just started, so that's great. I was thinking maybe I should have waited until the second Tuesday, which I know I don't do, except I did it I think in August in the hope that we could I could get a copy of Pinbox 7, but that didn't work out. So I decided to try and stick to first Tuesday. It's the rule. So, welcome to everybody. Let's see who's on the call. And first off, we've got Matt. Matt from Cumbria. He's a university lecturer. I didn't ask what you lecture in, Matt. So do let us know. At the University of Cumbria. I saw that one of your campuses is in Ambleside, which is where we were on holiday this summer. So that's fantastic. And then thousands of miles away, we've got Juan Ramirez in Colombia, in South America. So that's fantastic. It's good to have that. Then a very familiar face and name, Nicholas from Canada. So good to see you again, Nicholas, and hope you're enjoying the course. Nicholas was one of the winners in, I think, the November live stream when I asked people to submit their ideas for project management rules, and Nicholas submitted his, and it was great. I don't remember quite what it was, but do remember that you were a winner. And that reminds me, Hambo, I don't think you were on in December, but I think somewhere I've got a note, but I am fairly sure that you were the one winner who wasn't on the call at the end when I announced the winners. So I haven't sent you your prize. So, Hambo, I will put my email in the chat. Anyone can use it. It's all right. But do drop me an email after this live stream, and I'll let you have your prize, which is a choice of courses. So let me. I need to look up what the choice was and what the rules were. But you were one of the runners up. We had a kind of outright winner who got a big package, and then a couple of runners up. And Hambo, you were one of them. So congratulations. It's good to have you back on the call at last. I've been worrying because I realised that I'm guessing Hambo Gumble isn't your given name. Might be, but I couldn't find an email for you. So that's great to have you back. So I'm just going to type my name in the my email address in online PM courses.com. You should all know it by now, and you can all grab it. But that's for Hambo in particular, so that you can claim your prize. I wish I could remember. I'd have to go back to the live stream to remind myself what rule or rules. I think you came up with a couple, but one of them in particular really rang bells with me as being very apposite and witty at the same time, which was the kind of the conditions for winning. So congratulations, Hambo, and Happy New Year to you. Who else have we got? We've got Gabor Komouv. Where are you from, Gabor? I'm not sure I recognise the name. Gabor sounds Eastern European to me in origin, but could be wrong there. Carlos Duarte from Baja in Mexico. Fantastic. At Cetis University. Okay. Fantastic. That's great. Matt teaches project management and digital skills, background in computing. Fantastic. Great. So it's great that universities are using my content. I said in the chat that there are about 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, a small handful of universities that have contacted me. Usually it's the library or the digital rights department or the copyright department contacts me and says, we'd like to host one of your videos or a couple of your videos on our servers. Could we do that on our LMS? And if it's what I would call if it is a not-for-profit university, a public university, then the answer is yes, and it's a very low admin fee. And if it's a paid university, there are universities in some countries that earn money and are profit making, then there's a slightly higher charge because I'm relieving the lecturers of the work, and therefore there's a value to that. So it's great to have my content on university servers, and some consultancies are also using some of my content from this channel and also from the Management Courses channel to educate their people or their clients. So that's great. We've got Rohit Gaur from India. Excellent. Hambo, I seem to remember you're in East London. Could be right, could be wrong. Carlos is NPI project leader for a worldwide healthcare company. That's fantastic. Great. NPI, new product introduction, maybe? I don't know. Let us know. Always good to have acronyms decoded. I did a video on what is NPD, new product development, so that's probably why I've clicked into that. Great. Who else we've got? We've got Tunde Ade. That's another familiar name. I'm fairly sure you've been on a call before, or you've emailed me or something. I recognise that name. What would you say is how to manage successful projects? Wow, I've devoted my whole last 10 years to articulating that in many different ways. So I'm gonna answer your question, because I kind of commit to answering as many questions as I can, and it's a perfectly reasonable question. Can't answer it in its completeness, but I'm going to say that I'm going to pick on something that I've said many times. There's a very famous project manager called Tim Lister who says that risk management is how adults manage projects. I have gone on to say that stakeholder engagement is how sophisticated adults manage projects. I think if you want to manage a successful project, you have to build a relationship with all of your stakeholders, understand their needs and wants, and build the relationship to the point where you can work with them to balance those needs and wants across the different stakeholders without upsetting them or to minimizing the upset. So yeah, I think that's the key to managing a great project. However, if you want the basics, if you are new to project management and you want the basics, obviously you can do the courses, and I will talk about my basic courses towards the end of, or middle end of this live stream, because that's fundamentally what this live stream is about, is basic project management. So great question. But there is a book, How to Manage a Great Project. So I don't know whether you have kind of inadvertently or deliberately riffed off the title. That's available on at all great bookshops, online bookshops. But I will point you to all the resources on the website that will help to build up that answer at no cost to you, and I will also point you to the courses that will deliberately set out to answer that in a structured way. So a great question there from Tunde. We've got Nicholas saying, I did enjoy my benefits management course prize in November. Then I bought the skills mastery program, went through this this fall. I'm already convinced to get the immersion program this winter. Nicholas, drop me an email, because you're going to hear something at the end of this or the middle of this live stream that will make you want to drop me an email. So that's great. Hambo saying that's correct, Mike. Of course, we're time traveling with live streams. I'm talking now, and I can see that. Well, I think I'm about 10 seconds behind when you see me. So I think that's right. That's correct, Mike. Is my memory that Hambo is in East London. Sticks in my mind because I lived in East London for a while. Wes Harb? My mother grew up. Both my parents grew up in East London. Wes Harb says, "Hi Mike, this is Wes from Toronto. I work as a senior project manager in aviation section. Fantastic. Yes, new product introduction," says Carlos, NPI. That stands for new product introduction. Great. Or project introduction. New project introduction. Both, either product or project is valid. One of the things I used to get asked a lot is what's the difference between a product manager and a project manager. So there's a video on the website, on the YouTube channel. What is a product manager? And I used to train a lot of product managers, particularly for large consumer goods manufacturers across Europe. in project management, because part of product management is introducing the product. It's the marketing side of it, and so yeah, they need project management skills, and I used to train a lot of them in the past. Okay, I watch most of your YouTube videos, says Wes. Apologies, Wes. I watch most of your YouTube videos, very helpful, directly to the point. I'm just going to move my chat screen so it's a little higher, so I don't look like I'm looking quite so low down. Then what have we got? Tunde, send the book again, please. I think you wanted me to show that again. How to Manage a Great Project. I could probably grab an Amazon link for that. Affiliated, of course. So if you have problems finding it, just say so, and I will take the time to find you a link. Gabor from Romania. Excellent. So that is Eastern Europe. Fantastic. But I live and work in London. BMS. Building Management Systems, I'm going to go with. A client of mine used to manage building manufacture and distribute building management systems. So that's why BMS means that to me. Great, another Londoner. Reach out to Hambo. Not only did I live in the East End, but I grew up in North London, so I kind of know London pretty well. I think of it as my natural home, even though I haven't lived there for a while. This is great. We've already got 20 plus people on. If you haven't introduced yourself in the chat, please do. It's lovely to know who's out there. I think one of the themes and messages from today is about the diversity of the community that I'm trying to build up. And YouTube, I'm so grateful to YouTube, as we all should be, because for all the things some people will find wrong with it, it allows people like me to build a community globally. I had a very, very successful business delivering training across the UK and sometimes across particularly Western Europe, Northern Europe as well. But YouTube, we've got someone here from Colombia, we've got someone here who's in India, had people from on these live streams and watching my videos from just about every part of the world, certainly every kind of corner of the world, maybe not every single country. And I think that's fantastic, and it gives you folk wherever you are the chance to listen to people and learn from people and be entertained by people all over the world. So that's great. Oh, look, we've got the influential PMO, Stuart. So Stuart has a fantastic YouTube channel. He did a video yesterday, I'm not sure, it came into my stream this morning. This afternoon about risk proximity, which I think is a really important topic. So have a look at that. Stuart, you are a mod, so you can put your in the Chilterns, yes. You can put your channel in the chat for people to have a look. Don't go to Stuart's channel straight away, but do pop over. Stuart's got a fantastic channel. Stuart talked about risk proximity, and he talked primarily about how to estimate temporal proximity, time proximity, which is really, really important because, of course, whilst objectively a risk is no greater threat if it's far off compared to a near-term risk, our attitude to it changes, both emotionally. We see it as urgent, but also we should possibly consider that it becomes a greater priority because of the close nature of it. But of course, the downside to risk proximity is that risks that are more distant in time do take on a kind of fainter glow. And when you live in a democracy, as I'm fortunate enough to do, and many of us are fortunate enough to do, then we have politicians who are elected every 4, 5, 6 years. And so any risk that is further out than 1 or 2 terms of office is not a great concern to them. And therefore we see domestic matters overtaking far more serious global matters like climate change. So risk proximity has huge political impact. And let's not forget that we can also think about risk proximity in terms of time, in terms of distance. Risks that are further away are emotionally less powerful to us than risks that are very close to us. So Stuart in the Chilterns, and Stuart, fantastic that you can join us at 5 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon, so a Tuesday afternoon in the UK, when I know you've got a new baby to be caring for. So hope your new baby is thriving. So congratulations. And then we've got Jogesh. Oh, and don't forget to put your link in the chat. Then we've got Jogesh. Hi, I'm Jogesh Kumar from India, New Delhi. Lovely city. Working with Morelli Auto Components, domain sales and marketing function. Fantastic. Great. Well, we've got you everyone welcomed in. I want to just give you a hint of what we're going to do today. It's a packed live stream. I've got a lot of things I want to do. I want to take you through some ideas for having a great start to 2022. It is the start of the year. This is the first working day for many of us, and therefore it's a good time to reflect on some habits that will be really good for developing yourselves and improving things. And in fact, you will have seen, or some of you will have seen, that this morning a video came out on this channel, which was 12 things you can do to have 12 things you can change in 2022. I've deliberately got a different take on it for this live stream, because I know some of you will have seen that. I hope all of you will have seen it, but times are pressing. So I'm going to give you something a bit different. Then I'm going to talk about a little bit about basic fundamental project management and my perception of how important predictive project management still is in a world where everyone is talking about Agile, and why I think it's so important. And it's not necessarily the answer you're expecting. And that is a lead into a huge announcement for the online PM courses business, not so much for the YouTube channel, but for the online PM courses business. And I want to explain that announcement and why I'm making it. And then I thought I'd give you a tour of what I've got available to you. And then finally, I'm going to end with what my plans are for 2022. Some of the things you can expect if you are kind of enjoying being part of the channel and part of the community. So let's get started with that. I'll just pop over to slides, and I'll keep an eye on the chat while we're doing this. Oh, right, Gabor lives in East London, so you really are quite close to Hambo. Splendid. So let's take a look at how we can start 2022 right. And I think there are 5 things that I'm going to give you as a tip to starting 2022 right. And the first is to start intentional. By that I mean be intentional about everything you do in 2022, or as much as possible of what you do in 2022, and in particular be intentional about what you want from this year. What will you try to achieve in your work life, in your private life, in your social life, in your family life, and understand why. Why is that important to you? Why is that the right thing to do? So this is akin, I suppose, to saying set yourself some goals, but it's a bit different in the sense that I'm not saying necessarily set goals and aim for them. I'm saying when you decide how you're going to spend your time throughout 2022, make sure that as much of it is spent doing something that you deliberately choose to do, and you have a good, clear reason why you should be doing it. So that is to say, it will deliver something of value to you, like joy, happiness, perhaps financial reward, perhaps stability, security, safety for your family, or maybe it is preventing you going backwards in a direction. So the first tip is to start intentional. Be deliberate in the choices you make throughout 2022, and start that today. The second is to start important. And for this, I'm going to remind you what I'm sure a lot of you have heard is the distinction between what is important and what is urgent. Tim Covey in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People said, distinguish between what is important and what is merely urgent. Urgent things are the things that are pressing on you for action now, and this is why I thought it was great timing that Stuart talked about proximity of risk, risk proximity, which for me is the third most important characteristic of a risk after likelihood and impact. Proximity is important, but don't let yourself get caught dealing with urgent stuff that isn't that important, just as you would avoid dealing with urgent risks that really aren't that threatening. There are lots of little things that can go wrong, but if you spend all your time trying to address those, you will not make progress in your projects. That junior members of the team may make small mistakes. Your job isn't to stop people making mistakes, it's to stop them from making the wrong mistakes. So be intentional, but also determine what is important to you and focus on that. And of course, if you start the year by thinking about what is important to you through 2022, what are your priorities in your life? What are your priorities for your family? What are your priorities for your friends? What are your priorities for your business, your employer, your professional life? Think about each dimension of your life, perhaps your community, perhaps your hobbies, perhaps your environment. And for each dimension of your life, think about what is important to you going through 2022 so that you can be more intentional in the choices you make as you go forward. Start healthy. I don't know about you, but in the Clayton household, we do eat extremely well over Christmas and New Year, and that we do try to get some exercise as well. We had a couple of days away with some friends over New Year, and we did a lot of walking. But whether you've gone for the extreme excess of too much food, too much drink, and not enough exercise over the holidays, use the next couple of weeks to really get yourself into good health. And I think there are 4 elements to this that I would highlight. First of all is the obvious one: good fuel. Choose to eat well. And there are lots of people who will advise you on what good food is. There are lots of people who will advise you on, what sort of diet you should have. The best advice I've ever seen is from Michael Pollan, and it's 7 words: eat food, not too much, mostly vegetables. And it says eat food, not too much, mostly vegetables. Not too much, obviously, don't overstuff yourself. Mostly vegetables is about the balance of what food you eat. But a lot of people wonder what he means by eat food, because that's obvious, isn't it? And he says, actually, that isn't obvious. Because certainly in the West, a lot of us find ourselves eating what Michael Pollan describes as edible food-like substances. And this is the highly processed food, which are edible. They're not immediately toxic, but they don't have all of the vitamins and minerals that good quality whole foods have, and the processing adds all sorts of chemicals which are not as good for you. So eat food, not too much, mostly vegetables. Secondly, after fuel, is exercise. Get some exercise, and that's one of the big changes that I made around the second half, possibly a bit later in this year, because I realised that due to COVID restrictions in the UK, I'm sure they're very similar elsewhere, I just wasn't getting the regular exercise that I used to get when my martial arts club was able to run. And so I have made sure I have got exercise every day, and in fact, since I started at the end of the summer, I have only missed 2 days of doing a 2 to 3 mile walk every day, and that has made a lot of difference, I must say. Third is good rest. Take breaks, get a good break at the end of the day, at the end of the week, get good sleep, prioritise good sleep. And then fourth, in terms of health, is good relationships. Prioritise the relationships which sustain you. The thing that always strikes me is that when we are under a lot of pressure, work-wise or health-wise or whatever, there are certain people who will give far more than they expect to take from us, and they keep us sane. They help enormously, and they do so willingly because they love us. But when we are in a good state, we need to make constant deposits into that relationship to build it up. And even when we are in a bad state, we need to give something back to make it worth their while. So we've had start intentional, we've had start important, we've had start healthy. The next is to start connected. And so this time of year that it kind of occurs to me that there are probably some people in my life that I haven't been in touch with through the whole of the year that's just gone by, and I bet that's true for many of you. And since there are people that we haven't been in touch with, the question is that deliberate? Is that because actually the relationship has withered away, or is that a mistake? Start by rebuilding the connections that are important to you, the professional connections and the personal connections. Make a deliberate effort to seek out those people that you want to stay connected with. Don't let another year go by without rebuilding that connection. And then finally, start grateful. It is very easy to focus on all the things that are wrong in our lives, all the things we don't have, all the things that make us upset. And when we focus on that, that's all we can see in our lives. But if we focus on the things that we are grateful for, the small things and the big things, the health that we do have, the health that our families have, and the little things like enjoying a nice meal or a nice cup of coffee, then that will set us up for the year. So what have you to be grateful for? If you think about that at this stage, then that will set you up for a grateful year. So that's the first thing. If any of you have any thoughts about other things that will start the year off really well, then do add them to the chat, and I'll take a brief break and have a look and see if we've got anything new in the chat that I need to respond to. So what have we got here? Desha Pingel, Senior Program Manager for a financial institution working remotely in Spain. Fantastic. Welcome, Desha. I think you're a new name to this live stream. We've also got Gabor says acronym for BMS, Building Management System. That's exactly what I thought it was. Brilliant. Hambo, I ended last year grateful as I spent it with my dad for Christmas after recovering from illness. I plan to carry that on. That's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, one thing you learn, sadly, as you get older is to value your parents and the time you have with your parents. As an adult, the relationship changes massively when we become adults, but it's easy because we work, we start our own families, we move away from home to not spend as much time with our parents as we should, and then you get to a certain point and it can become a source of regret. So that's fantastic to hear, Hambo. Thank you. So if anyone else has any suggestions for what will help start the year well, I welcome them. Jogesh, superb, thanks so much. Excited, brilliant, fantastic, good. Stuart's from Influential PMO, good advice there about food. My big lesson in 21 was about gut health and the need to vary food. Yeah, absolutely. Human beings are omnivorous, and so the best diets we can have is a varied diet, and if it's a varied diet that's made up of fresh seasonal food, mostly vegetables, that's going to be great. But a bit of dairy, unless you're intolerant, a bit of meat unless you have a specific reason for not eating meat, and you can be healthy. But even with quite restricted diets like a vegan diet, again, if you have the full variety of vegan foods, you can live very, very healthily and very happily. Great. Okay, I want to talk a bit about project management 2022 because I've had it, and I want to draw a line under the Agile versus predictive, or Agile versus Waterfall, as some people insist on describing it, argument. It's nonsense. And here's my new perspective on that. All project management is hybrid. I was massively inspired in 2021 by meeting and getting to know a project manager called Elio Costa. Elio created what I think is probably the most mature, sophisticated, and effective from the ground up hybrid project management methodology. It's called FLEKS. I will just where are we? Where's my mouse gone? Oh, there it is. Right, I'm just going to get FLEKS up onto the screen. So just give a shout out to Elio Costa for this. So what you can see is the website, the FLEKS hybrid model. It's a fantastic kind of resource. The FLEKS model guide is freely downloadable, as is the project canvas guide, and also on the site, amongst other things, are some resources which include a number of ebooks that are also free to download. At the moment, has he added any extras? If we go to page 2, no. So at the moment, I'm going to go back to page 1 now. At the moment, there are 8 free ebooks. There will be more through the year, but take a look at this first one here. Value governance. You won't be able to see on the screen, but the author of that is yours truly. So this is an ebook about value governance, about 8,000 words. I think they all are. We've got digital transformation, negotiation, business analysis, indicators, people management by competence. What else are the other 2 that are up at the moment? OKRs, objectives and key results, although I know Elio has revised his thinking on that, and now talks about ORKRs, objectives, risks and key results, and knowledge management. And there will be more of these ebooks coming. FLEKS is a fantastic methodology designed ground up to be both completely hybrid and to be and also to be completely scalable. It deals at the level of enterprise, it deals at the level of portfolio, it works at the level of program, and at project level, and at product level. It works at those 5 levels. Is that 5? Enterprise, portfolio, program, project, product. Yes, it is. It works at all those 5 levels. It's completely scalable. It's brilliant. And I used to think, and I'm sure a lot of you have thought about hybrid as being the intersection where predictive project management overlaps agile project management, and that's the kind of model I used for a good few years. And then Elio kind of put me right. There's a kind of light bulb moment went on. Elio sees hybrid as not the intersection, but the complete union of those 2 things. Everything that is agile and everything that is predictive goes into hybrid. So therefore, all project management is hybrid, in my view. And we can draw upon it all. So within that kind of hybrid family of all possible project management approaches, one corner of the space of possibilities is the purely predictive, but it's going to be quite rare, I think, these days, where people work purely predictive. But predictive project management has got everything that you need when you start to bring in some of the other elements with it from hybrid. And it's just a myth to say that, predictive project managers don't engage stakeholders. I learned predictive project management, and it was drummed into me that stakeholder engagement is the core of it. It's a myth that there's no incrementalism in predictive project management, because I always delivered my projects in an incremental way. And it's also true that there's the ability to be iterative, and to revisit stuff, and there's the possibility of making change. That's what change control is all about. So predictive project management is every bit as valid as any other area of the kind of hybrid space. So why is it important? Well, of course it's important because it has a lot to offer, but I think there are two reasons why I would say we still need to learn predictive project management no matter what style of projects we want to lead. The first is because it provides a massive tool set of effective tools that contributes to the hybrid space. And if all project management is hybrid project management, then you cannot be a project manager without understanding hybrid. And therefore, if you're going to understand it properly, you need that kind of full space of possibilities. And so you need to learn your predictive project management and learn it well. It gives us a clearly defined end dates. It gives us a highly planned approach and the ability to plan and the ability to budget and ability to schedule. It gives us the frameworks for high governance environments. And of course, here in the UK, we have the Prince2 methodology, which is actually a hybrid methodology right from the ground up, really and truly, because it starts off by having tailoring as one of its 7 key principles. But it is also designed for high governance environments. Predictive project management, I would say, gives us more tools around knowledge management, more tools to help us anticipate and plan for the problems that we're likely to meet. So the idea of risk management and contingency planning and crisis planning and disaster planning, all of that fits very nicely into the predictive space, and you will learn about it when you learn predictive project management. And I think one of the things that is absolutely clear to me is that predictive project management is far better at defining from the outset success and failure and what the criteria are than Agile project management. And I think if you've got a client paying you for your time as you deliver a project, then they will want to know that. And they will also want to know how much money they're going to spend. What is their budgetary commitment? And so if they want to know that, if they want to know what resource commitment they're going to need to make, if they want to know how they're going to be allocating their teams, deploying people to a project, if they want to know when things are going to happen, they want to know what deliverables you are actually going to deliver, then predictive gives you the tools to help you with that. So reason number one for me, therefore, is that for saying that predictive project management is valuable and enormously valuable today and will be through 2022 and onwards for as long as I can possibly imagine, is quite simply because the tool set is fantastic. It would be like a manager saying, well, do I really need to understand feedback? I know about motivation, I know about leadership. Do I need to know about feedback? Yes, if you're going to be a full spectrum manager doing the whole management job, then feedback contains a massive set of tools for you to use, and so does predictive. The other reason I think why predictive is so important and valuable is that I would say that 90% of people managing projects are not project managers. Before I started online PM courses, most of my business was training people in project management across the UK. And I would say that the vast majority of the people I trained were not project managers, and they never aspired to be project managers. They were managers, and they were professionals who needed to manage projects in order to do their jobs. They were either being tasked with projects, or projects were part of their jobs day to day. And consequently, they needed to learn project management, but they didn't want to be project managers. They didn't want qualifications, they didn't want certifications, they didn't want the title project manager, but they needed this to succeed. And they were delivering small, medium, sometimes large-scale business projects, and they still are. And I think 90% of project managers are what some people call accidental project managers or incidental project managers. And for them, and the projects they're delivering, the predictive toolset gives them pretty much everything they need. So 90% of the projects in the world are predictive in nature and are certainly well suited to the predictive toolset. And of course, the predictive toolset then gives those managers, those professionals, fantastic set of tools to support them in their day-to-day leadership and day-to-day management. And that has nothing to do with the projects. So the two big reasons for me are quite simply that the predictive has a fantastic tool set that is part of hybrid project management, which is all of project management. And secondly, most project managers only need that chunk of the tool set. And there are projects that are particularly well suited to predictive project management. Compliance or regulatory projects, you can't create a project in an organisation to partially comply with regulation. That would be wrong. You know, you've got new legislation, new regulation, new rules that you need to comply with. Yes, you can create an agile process of incrementally complying with more and more rules up until the deadline, but you have to have a plan that will get you to that deadline in time. Otherwise, you are in breach of regulation and legislation and whatever, and it's a disaster. And, you know, in my career, many of the projects I delivered professionally were these massively deadline driven, must hit the deadline, must comply 100% type projects, like deregulation of the electricity supply industry in Scotland was one big one. And year 2000, I made my reputation as a project manager in the UK, working on one of the biggest year 2000 programs in the UK. And £6.5 million budget over the 2 and a half years that we worked on it. So, and there was no way we could plan not to hit the deadline. It was incremental and it was iterative. We learned as we went, and we did a bit at a time, of course, but it wasn't an agile project because there was no agile. Cut over projects where you go live and replace an entire system with an entire new system. Yes, you might develop it incrementally and therefore potentially in an agile manner, but you need predictive project management to make that cut over work. A lot of organizational process projects, again, because there is that kind of cut over feature. Yes, again, incrementally you will improve them, and iteratively you will fix them. Incrementally you will add processes, and iteratively you will fix errors. But again, fundamentally the process needs to work by a certain deadline. Construction and civil engineering projects, a lot of mechanical engineering projects as well, are very much better suited to predictive project management. But they are hybrid projects, and so we can introduce agile concepts into those. And interestingly, I think a lot of manufacturing, not new product development, but possibly the new product introduction element works well. Marketing projects, yes, there will be incremental stages to marketing new products, but fundamentally, the launch of a new product needs to be predictive. So that's my kind of defense of predictive project management. But if you're going to take away one message and one message only, that message is simple. Let's put it up again. All project management is hybrid. Great. What else have we got here? We've got Nicholas saying, I did take a look at FLEKS last month after you mentioned it during the live stream. It looks very interesting. It is very interesting. In fact, I think since the last live stream I did, I attended the 2-day training course that Elio Costa runs for FLEKS project managers. It's designed to take people to certification. You don't have to do the certification exams, but it was great. There was some fantastic people on the course. It was all done through Zoom, as you'd expect. He does them in Portuguese because that's his native language. He's Brazilian living in Portugal, and he also does them in English. I did them in English because it's the only language I can speak well enough. So yeah, all of you do take a look at FLEKS. It's fantastic. It's flexmodel.com. I should put that into the chat, shouldn't I? Let's grab the URL and pop it into the chat, so you can take a look at it if you need to. Samrat Mukherjee. Hello, Sir Clayton. Great to see you live. Great. Okay, Sir Clayton. I need to address that. The New Year's Honours list came out, as it usually does, on 31st December in the UK, naming all the great and good who had received their honours. And as a matter of great sadness, Samrat, I am still Dr. Mike Clayton, not Dr. Sir Mike Clayton. But who knows, next year, there's always hope. So just plain Mike will do absolutely fine, but it's Mike or Mr. Clayton or Dr. Clayton, but I'm certainly not a sir. But I do know that in some parts of the world, people are so polite they use the sir just as an honorific. So thank you very much. Then we've got what looks like it might be Cyrillic, so it probably doesn't say central. But I can't read Cyrillic. I can decode Greek writing. I can read Greek. I can't understand it, but I can read it. For the simple reason that I'm a scientist by training, physicist by training, and therefore I know the whole Greek alphabet, and because we use it in science. And of course, everyone knows Delta and Omicron now, and Alpha and Omega, I suppose. But yeah, I can do my Greek alphabet: Alpha, Beta, Gamma, Delta, Epsilon, Zeta, Eta, Theta, Iota, Kappa, Lambda, Mu, Nu, Xi, Omicron, Pi, Rho, Sigma, Tau, Epsilon, Phi, Chi, Psi, Omega. But I can't read Cyrillic. Sorry. You have one of the best channels on YouTube, whoever you are, you say. So thank you very much for that. I'd like to think it's one of the best project management channels, but I spend more time watching other channels than I do watching my own. Samrat, not only that, rather, no, he is the number one. Wow. Okay. So now we've got an argument going whether I'm one of the best or the best. I'll take either. Thank you very much to both of you. Samrat says, the way he explains concepts, be it agile or lean, is so easy, anyone can understand those. Yeah, I mean, I have spent the last 20 years finding ways to explain business management, leadership, personal, professional effectiveness, and project management concepts to audiences, whether it's in training, whether it's in seminars, whether it's from a platform, or whether it's one-to-one coaching, mentoring, and now online. So I am really, the thing that I value most is when people say I explain things clearly and well. Some things I explain clearly and well because I've been doing it for a long time, like core basic project management, predictive stuff. Some of it, if I'm honest, is because I've researched it and tried to understand it and explain it clearly, take my sort of beginner's knowledge. I am not experienced in Agile. I've done some Agile training. I've got myself trained. I've learned some stuff about it, but I've never run a lean project or an Agile project. But I'm glad that you find it works well for you. The other thing I would say is you'll notice sometimes on some of my videos there are comments that I speak too slowly, which you probably noticed on the live stream I don't, because I'm just being very natural, and to which I always reply just 1.25 times. Click the button and make it go faster, because I do deliberately slow down my delivery on my YouTube videos and my training videos, because I know that a lot of my audience, unlike me, can speak more than one language, and for them English is not their first language. So I want to slow it down to make sure that people who don't speak English fluently and have to work that bit harder to understand what I'm saying, make sure that they can understand it as easily as possible. So that's great. What else have we got? Samrat, I like to call you sir. Well, I like being called sir. And then we've got what looks definitely is Cyrillic, and I have no idea what that says. But I shall put it into Google Translate unless you're prepared to translate it for us. It doesn't look like it's real words. Just a reminder, you can basically say anything on this stream as long as it's respectful. If it's disrespectful, then you get one chance to, I'll delete it, and then if it happens again, I'll delete you. from the stream. But it's great to have all of you here. So I think it has to be announcement time. So let me make the big announcement. Here we go. I should have sound effects. So what is the big announcement? Well, the big announcement is simply this, and it's been 2 years in the kind of brewing. I've been thinking about this. So let me give you a bit of context. This YouTube channel started off in 2016 as a way to market my online PM courses. So I had two main marketing channels. One was producing weekly articles, which have become a big thing now. They're 3,000 word articles. Every Monday I write one. Some of them I refurbish old ones, but most often I write new ones. And the second thing I wanted to do, since I was selling video-based training, I thought the best marketing is videos that show off the way that I deliver information. So I built the YouTube channel and I started producing originally 10 videos a quarter, so 40 videos a year, not quite one a week. So there would be seasons, quarterly seasons of 10 videos, and they were all what I call project management in under 5 minutes, 5-minute explanation of what is one topic or another. And you'll notice that I still do that from about twice a month, once, twice a month, I will do a video what is answering, something like what is new product development, what is product manager, what is going to the Gemba, what are the wastes of lean, Muda, Muri, those sorts of things. So let's just go back to me. So I started the channel primarily as a marketing channel, and what I discovered when I started to make videos genuinely weekly, and then I thought I'd up it to 2 weekly, was that the channel started to grow and it monetized, and I started to make a small amount of ad income, and I started to reach a lot more people, and then it carried on growing. And at some point I realized that really and truly the YouTube channel had the potential to earn me more money through advertising revenue than selling courses. And the reason is simple: because you are a valuable audience, you are a good audience. YouTube doesn't pay the same amount of money to advertise to channel owners like me for all sorts of channels. If you run a kind of funny cats channel, you will not get paid as much for an advert as I will, because if you run a funny cats channel, then you will have viewers across all sorts of demographics, and the advertisers don't know who they're advertising to, so they won't spend a lot of money on an advert, because it's a very big spread bet. If you want to advertise to young to middle-aged adults who are serious about a business career that is sustainable and going to earn them a decent living, then mine is a good channel to advertise on, because I know my statistics. Very few of you are teenagers. Very few of you are young 20s. Most of you are mid-20s to mid-30s, maybe up to 40. And most of you are employed. All of you have excellent job prospects, whether you're employed or not, even if you're a student, because you choose to focus on learning business skills. And that means advertisers know who you are, and they know you are valuable, and therefore my ad revenue rates per view are higher than most channels. And so I just kind of discovered that I was starting to make some money making YouTube videos. And just before the lockdown, the summer before the lockdown, I realized that and decided to put a lot more effort into YouTube. And that has had a huge impact. For now, YouTube is a thing. It is a part of my business, and in fact it is a big part of my business. It's a big part of my business strategy. I don't do it full-time YouTubing, but it now is the single biggest time commitment I make to my professional life, and it is some months the biggest single contributor to my income. And so there's that. As a result, I've been able to reach a hugely wider audience, and I really value that. I've been able to reach people in hundreds of countries, literally hundreds of countries, and that I think is really important to me. It also means that I've started to realise that many of those people can't afford the prices that I charge for my training. But that's fine, because they're getting, you are getting all of the YouTube content completely free, just for the price of having to sit through a few adverts that pay me something like, what is it, $10 for 1,000 views. So that's 1 cent. When you watch one of my videos, I make a cent in American money. So it's less than a penny. A couple of people watch and I make a penny of UK money, which is taxable. But that made me think about affordability. The third thing that I think's relevant to say is that I developed all of my online training in 2016 based on my live training, and in particular I built my 3 core courses: the Fast Start program, the Skills Mastery program, and the Immersion program. What I like to think of as medium, large, and extra large. They are, everything in the Fast Start program is in the Skills Mastery program, plus about the same again. Everything in the Skills Mastery program is in the Immersion program, plus about the same again in extra content. And I built all that in 2016, and now that is a sunk cost, and I've earned back enough from that to have paid for a lot of the time and money. Now there's a lot of maintenance goes on, and there's a lot of time I put into writing articles for the site and supporting students and all of that. But consequently, if you put all of that together, the big announcement is simply that I have decided to cut the prices of those 3 core programs. What have we got here? Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Right. There we go. That's the button I should have pressed. So the Fast Start program, since 2017, I've held the price. 2016, I've held the price at $97 up until this weekend, when I lowered the price to $55. Since 2016, the Skills Mastery program went on sale at $197. It stayed at $197. There have been occasional Black Friday sales, of course, on these, but now permanently it is $95. And the Immersion program was $397. It is now permanently $195. So you can now buy the courses for about half of what I originally started charging for them. And that, by the way, includes the fact that there is an easy upsell offer on all of those courses. So if you buy the Fast Start program and you want the Skills Mastery program, well, you've kind of already got half the content. So in fact, I'm going to then discount the Skills Mastery program by $55 if you want to buy up. And likewise, if you want to go all the way to the Immersion program, whatever you've spent gets deducted plus a little extra, just to make it attractive. So that's the announcement, and I guess the questions people will ask is, will there still be seasonal sales? The answer is probably not. I haven't decided. I mean, there won't be many. There may be a Black Friday sale, but it's certainly not going to be a 50% sale. I'm not going to take the prices down, to that low. But I believe in rewarding loyalty. I want to reward people who are part of the community, who get stuff out, get things from the community, and therefore, your best chance of getting any discount from me now on these prices is to stay part of the community, and that's how I will do it in future. So I'm not going to do it on this live stream, but maybe on future live streams, as I have done before, I will take 1 or 2 courses and I will make an offer on those courses, so that you can kind of add them to your collection. When I told some friends about this, I said, it's just a ploy to sell more courses, isn't it? And the answer is yes. It is exactly a ploy to sell more courses. I want to sell more courses. If I sell twice as many courses, I will make the same amount of money. I will have twice the hassle, but it's not a huge hassle. I will have twice the workload in managing the infrastructure and supporting those learners, I suppose. But I will make exactly the same amount of money, but twice as many people will benefit from it, and I think that's exactly why I'm doing it. And you know what? If 3 times as many people buy the courses, then that's what I want too. I want 3, 4, 5 times as many people to benefit from these courses, and yeah, it would be nice to make a bit more money for the family. It will, go into my daughter's education, probably. So that's the plan. That's the big announcement. So what do you think? Let's take a look at the chat and see what people seem to be thinking and saying. I've lost my cursor again. For some reason, cursor seems to go to sleep when I've got 2 screens running and a live stream. Let's go back to my ugly face and have a look at the chat. Let's move the chat to the center of my screen in front of me. Okay. Keep up the good work, Mike, says Elmo Movic. Elmo Movic? No. So that looks like that's Arabic, and so Movic would be sort of Eastern European, wouldn't it? Elmo Movic. Says keep up the good work, Mike. Thank you very much. I think you're a new name, so welcome to the stream. Nicola, one of these days you're going to have to tell me whether it's Nicholas or Nicola, or neither. You said you didn't remember the rule I submitted to win during November livestream. My rule was about rolling planning. I said that I had stopped planning too far ahead. Okay. In a sense, I said I was doing more hybrid project management. It goes well with what you said today. Yeah, I mean, my argument is, whether you're a pure play predictive project manager, as I was when I delivered projects, or whether you're a pure play agilist, you are delivering hybrid projects, because you're just making a selection from one kind of pool of hybrid resources. So yeah, great. Elmo Movic says learning from you all the time. Thank you very much. Sophia Edwards Gabriel. Hi Mike, St. Lucia in the Caribbean. Wow, I bet the weather's better with you. Mind you, you do have hurricanes out there, don't you? But I've never been to the Caribbean. I'd love to. Everyone tells me it's a fantastic holiday destination. I find your videos quite useful. Okay, so is that quite useful? Or is that the very British? They're quite useful, which means very useful. Technically known as is it meiosis, dramatic understatement. Anyway, thank you very much. Hambo Gumbo and probably bald. I'm in that demographic. I can't remember what I said that's triggered that. Was that when I said we're going to get older? Don't know. Sophia, wow, thanks so much. I can now afford one of your courses. Well, you see, that's exactly why I did it. And of course, if you're not sure, buy the smaller course, because the later you can upgrade without having wasted a penny or a cent of your money. One of the other little things I did was to simplify things. I got rid of the selling price in UK pounds, because the dollar-pound rate flaps around like billio. So it's all in dollars. Also, the system does automatically know where you are dialing in from, or where dialing in from. Do we use dial-up internet these days? Where you're connecting from. And it will add local taxes that are local to you and then submit it to your authorities. Can't stop that happening. Don't want to, because I believe taxation is a necessary evil. It's what builds a civil society. I don't like paying taxes, but I actually believe we should be paying taxes. And so should you, Mr. Bezos, Mr. Musk. It's the taxes that keep the people who can't afford services living a decent life. Politics over. Right. So great. It'd be good to see you in the courses, Sophia. If you join one of the courses, do drop me a line, say hi. Nicholas, great news. Grateful I got the skills mastery program this fall, but I'm happy I waited after today to buy the immersion program. Yes. So what I was going to say, the last question people are going to ask is, what if I just bought a course? And I have 2 answers for people like Nicholas. One is, obviously, if you just bought the course, you could afford it. And the reason for this is not to make it cheap for people who can afford it, but to make it affordable for people who couldn't otherwise. But that sounds a bit glib. The other is that if you have bought very recently, and I don't remember when you bought, Nicholas, but if you bought very recently, certainly in the last month or possibly two, drop me a line by email, and I've got an offer. I've got a gift for you, basically, to say thank you for buying at full price, and recognise that had you known what I was planning, then you would have waited. So you can certainly upgrade to the immersion program. But if you drop me a line, Nicholas, let me know when you bought the mastery program. I could probably check. Then we'll see, because you've been a big supporter to the channel. Juan Ramirez, great news, Mike. Thanks. Thank you. Tunde Ade, are these courses one-to-one or videos? How are they delivered? So I'll answer you now, and then I will go over to the website and show you what's there. So they are video-based courses. So the videos are similar in style to the YouTube videos that you know and I hope love. But rather than YouTube videos, which I do whatever I fancy, whatever I think is people want to hear, different things at different weeks, they are structured courses using constant terminology, constant graphical style throughout the course. So they are designed for learning from start to finish. They're not one-to-one training. However, those of you who are in courses can attest to this. Underneath every single lecture is a comment panel, and if you have any question at all about what you've learned or how to apply what you've learned, or you didn't understand what I said, you can write your comments or questions underneath the lecture, and I will see that, and usually within 24 hours. Remember, I'm in the UK, you may not be. Usually in around 24 hours, I will see that and I will respond to it, and I will answer your questions as best I can. If you write the question under the lecture that prompted the question or is relevant to the question, then it forms a useful archive for future students who may have had the same question. So there is an element of personal attention, because and if I'm on holiday, it may take more than 24 hours, if I'm honest. If I'm on holiday with a family, I do take my laptop with me when I travel on holiday with a family, because I have a responsibility to all of you, but it may be more than 24 hours. But it's more than 24 hours because you get me. You don't get Fiverr.com project management, not really expert, giving stock answers. If you ask a question, there is only one person who will know you've asked that question, and it'll be me, and I will answer it. And on some of the courses, people will find there's long threads of question answer. And that's what you get. And that's why I say if I sell twice as much, I will have more work, because twice as many people will be asking questions. Sophia says I should visit sometime. I think that's the Caribbean. I would love to go to St. Lucia. Lockdown. And global climate change. I don't know about you folk, but I love travelling, and I love to go on holiday with family, and I'm thinking seriously that more of our family holidays over the next few years are probably going to be here in the UK or Western Europe, where we can get to by train. Just don't feel comfortable using the plane very much. I think we've got someone from can't remember his name, someone at the top of the list. Who was it? It was Matt Ryder. Actually lives in Cumbria, and we had our holidays in Cumbria. It was fantastic. Right, Nicola. Here's the answer. My English-speaking friends pronounce my name as Nicholas, and my French-speaking friends say Nicolas. So either is fine. See, the rule I have with names is you say somebody's name the way they say it. If you ask them how to say their name and they tell you, or if you ask them how to pronounce their name and they tell you, then the most polite thing is to do the very best you can to match the way they use their name, because that's the proper way. I own the name Mike, so if you pronounce it Mike, that's fine, but I pronounce it Mike, so that's the right way to pronounce it in my culture. Anyway, so Nicolas, I've been hedging my bets on this, but I will try to remember now to get it French, because it does sound to me like you are actually from a French background. Okay, I'm gonna pause the view of the chat. How are we doing? It's 10 past the hour, so I'm gonna try to wrap in about 20 minutes. So the next thing I want to do is to show you some of the resources we have on the site. So I'm gonna pop over to my browser. I'm just going to drag the mic over and move my chair over to the browser and show you what we've got. So first up, this is going to be a bit of a site tour and a bit of what's going to be new in 2022. This is the back end of my channel. So if we look here, this little eye and this public thing tells you that this was the last video to be published. 4th of January, that was this morning. Top 12 things to do differently in 2022. What you can also see is some of the things we've got scheduled for the next few weeks. What have we got here? We've got, massive news. So I'm going to be doing this announcement that I've done for you in person through a video on Thursday. But then we get back to the normal thing. So next Tuesday, we've got should a project manager be involved in contract negotiations? Then we've got how to create a Gantt chart. Top 7 ways to remember names. Stuart. So I put a link to that for Stuart in a in a comment he made somewhere, and forgot that it actually hasn't been published yet. So that link won't go anywhere till the 18th of January. Hang on, Stuart. 18th of January. I'll tell you how to remember names. What is business analysis? So there's one of my what is. So these what is videos go back to 2016. There must be about 100 of them now. What is business analysis and what is a business analyst? There's me holding a copy of the Baybot Guide, business analysis body of knowledge. Things to learn to avoid project failure. So there you are, failure and blame. How to mentor a colleague. Top 10 ways to convince people you have authority. What is PMP, Project Management Professional? I'm sure all of you know that, but that one's there to a degree for... that's a popular topic on YouTube. I'm hoping that'll do well. Project cost management and self-preservation. How to work with consultants. If you've ever had to work with consultants, it's not that easy. And I speak as a former consultant. Top 8 ways to be trusted. Win and maintain trust with people around you. What is Kaizen? Then I got an interview, last of the 2021 interviews, an interview with Rich Maltzman, who is Green Project Manager, very interested in sustainability and project management, but also very interested in project planning meetings and communication in general. So we talk about facilitating productive project meetings. And what is authentic leadership? That's another what is video to come. And in fact, there are some that are so new, I haven't even scheduled them yet. So they're kind of greyed out, so slightly hard to see. But we will be doing something about don't get caught in the cost trap. Something about how to communicate big ideas with impact. How to facilitate a meeting in praise of quality. The Phantom Menace, which is about people trying to undermine your projects. And then some more of our top 10 kind of formats. Top 10 tips for self-control. How to think fast, respond quickly, but in a wise way. Then what are the top 12 challenges for project managers? How can you get glory? What are KPIs? And here we are. What is Prince 2 Agile? Not what is Prince 2, but what is Prince 2 Agile? That's kind of in my hybrid season, I suppose. So lots of great stuff to come up on that. What else have I got? Well, some of you will know that I had started 2 years ago a second YouTube channel, which is Management Courses, which does for management in general what I do for project management. But this is designed to give you full courses on management topics, but for free via YouTube. So each video builds on the last ones, and there are whole things. In fact, what I should have got up, so I shall just get it up now, is I've recently built a website to host all of this. So managementcourses.com, mugmatcourses.com. Let me just paste that into the chat so you can get it. See there's a bit of chat going on, but we'll come back to that in a moment. So managementcourses.com allows you to see all the courses that are are available. So we've got personal impact, personal productivity, meetings, motivation. Feedback's coming to an end soon. There'll be a new course coming to that. So there's one video each Tuesday from one course and a video each Thursday from another course at any one time. The Teams course there is there, negotiation, nature of organisations, and marketing for managers is the other currently ongoing course. And if you click on any of those, let's go to the most popular course on YouTube, motivation. You'll see that all the modules are there ready for you to watch, plus a set of resources for you, book recommendations and free or paid resources. There's a $2 for a graphics pack that shows you all the graphics that I use in the videos. And then if you click on any of the videos, let's go to what should we have a look at? Let's go to Elton Mayo, Victor Vroom. This I think is the most watched video on the channel. Then what we see here is the YouTube video and the notes, plus access to all the other videos. So that's all project managers and managers. So I hope this website and this channel will be helpful to you. So those of you who are pure play YouTube community members who have only ever seen me on YouTube, this is the Online PM Courses website. Get your free ebook. One of the things I'll be doing during this year is updating Decode the Jargon of project management. It's in its second edition. I'm going to be adding a third edition with a lot more agile and hybrid terms, as you'd expect, and a lot more terms from some of the newer ideas in project management, like value and benefits management, and possibly picking up some stuff on principles. And then if we look through the site, there's a lot of content on core project management, agile project management, and software project management software. There's stuff on certification, and these are all things you can buy. But I'm going to focus here on the core project management programs, because these are the three that are being discounted. And from the site, here you are, new lower prices from 3rd of January. That's the old orange, not the new orange. Whoops. And here you can see the new prices are already there on those. Secret Success Formula is an email course. It's a kind of low-cost course to get you started. And the coaching program is available, but I don't think is... I need to review the pricing on that. But you can compare what you get from these different courses here. I need to take away the pound pricing because that's no longer available. Forgot about that. I did all of this on Sunday after coming home from a brief break. There are also certification courses. Whoops. Let's close that down. There are also certification courses, but I don't offer them. So these are offered through partners. PMI Agile certification courses, Prince 2 certification courses. Let's pick one at random. Oh, there's ITIL as well, and related non-certification courses. But let's have a look at these Agile courses as an example of what we've got available. So through a couple of organisations like M Plaza and Grey Campus, I offer a range of courses on agile project management of different sorts, and I offer a load of agile non-certification courses through high impact project management, which is Chuck Cobb there. And if you're after PMI based courses, then whoops, I've gone to the wrong section. If you want PMI based courses, then I offer them through Grey Campus and through PM Prepcast. So Grey Campus is an ATP, an authorized training provider of the PMI PM Prepcast have chosen a different route, so you get their materials rather than PMI materials. So they're both exceptionally good, but they have different ways of delivering their certification training for PMP, CAPM, and I think we've got some PMI ACP as well. So there's loads of stuff if you want qualifications. Now, I also have a number of roadmaps and learning guides and resource guides. So I want to study for project management professional. There's all the free materials, links to all the free materials that I've got that are related to that topic, plus links to the paid resources that you can buy, like books and courses. And so this is a kind of roadmap through all our resources. And we've got that for general project management and for Agile and for Prince 2 as well. So here's the general project management one with videos, links to articles, and links to courses. So it's, there's a lot of resource here for people who just I want to learn project management, I want to learn Agile project management, I want to study for project management professional, I want to study for Prince 2. There's huge amounts of resources there. Then we've got our skills courses that are not fundamental core project management. We've got courses relating to some of the project management knowledge areas. We've got software courses largely around Microsoft Project. We've got personal effectiveness courses and leadership and management courses. So Nicola did mention that he's been doing the benefits management course. We've also got courses in leading and managing change, which is one of my favorites, and the project definition kit, and the template kits and checklists as well are there. But then we've also got leadership and management courses. Another of my favourite courses is the day-to-day leadership that gets results, which is a situational leadership course. There's how to delegate, leading effective one-on-one meetings, dealing with conflict, and then bundles as well. So all sorts of stuff. Oh, and I should also show you the personal effectiveness courses that I've got. How to develop gravitas, practical time management, that's personal time management, take back control, how to say no, power of listening, get the most from your meetings. And because people asked for it, my course on how to write a non-fiction book, because I've written 14 non-fiction books for publishers, plus loads of ebooks as well. The other thing that you find on my site is articles. I produce a long form article every Monday. This week's was a shorter one because it's holidays, which is effectively the announcement I made today. But if we go back past the year in review to thing, there's an article on the OODA loop, and then go back. There's an article on building shared understanding. Go back, performance feedback, setting team ground rules, coaching skills. There's loads of them, and in fact, if you click on all our articles list, this sometimes doesn't work, and I haven't found out why. They're listed there, and the great thing about this is that if you use your browser's search function, then you can search for anything you like, and it'll pick it up from the titles. There is also, I should say, let's get rid of that. You'll see Free Academy of Project Management. What is this? This is basically some courses I've created by bringing together a number of YouTube videos. So they are all free, and they are kind of learning paths based on the YouTube videos. I need to update them because more YouTube videos have come out since I made these, and I probably need to create some more, but they will come. And then there are loads of other tools and resources. There are templates, there are checklists, project definition kit, and in fact, if we go to all the resources things we've got here, what else have we got? There's those programs, roadmaps, and lots of free stuff as well. Kindle exclusives, books, free resources. What does that take us to? Here we go. Project Management Fundamentals, the smallest of my core programs, 4 videos, completely free. Takes you through the whole project management lifecycle. The YouTube channel, That's no longer free. Apologies for that. Articles, Academy, newsletter, Project in a Box is some software you can download for free. I didn't create it. So there's lots here. So that is all I have on offer. So let's go back to me and we'll have another look. Let's move the microphone. We'll have another look at the chat and then we'll wind it up with a few comments about what I'll be doing this year. Nicholas says, wow, I'm impressed you have so much content ready to go. Yeah, there are literally hundreds and hundreds of articles. Most of them are 3,000 word detailed articles about project management topics. So, if you can't find what you're looking for, drop me an email. Chances are I've created it. Right, Dan Roberts, new name. Hi there. Hi, Dan. Influential PMO. No, Nicola, not all YouTubers prepare so far in advance. Oh, hang on, I must have missed some stuff. Here we go. Oh, Hambo says, hey, just finished John Whitmore's book on coaching. That's fantastic. I mean, I've got 2 editions. I think I've got the first edition, third edition on the shelf up there because I used the third to teach from. I was trained in coaching by Sir John Whitmore and his business partner, whose name is going to escape me for a moment, but he was an Olympic medalist hurdler. Oh, that's so embarrassing. But yeah, they trained me. John Whitmore. I've done about 3 weeks of training with Sir John Whitmore on coaching. That's where I learned to coach when I was at Deloitte. Yes, Nicola says, impressed you have so much content ready to go. Are all YouTubers prepared 3 months in advance like this? And Influential PMO says, no, not all YouTubers prepare that far in advance. I'm feeling a little guilty. Don't feel guilty. I do it for a living, Stuart. You do it as an add-on to your living. And he's not going to hear me say that because he's just dropped out. But yeah, I'm in a mentoring group with other YouTubers and I'm the only one who prepares anything more than a week or 2 in advance. But I'm a project manager. So that's what we do. Juan says, great, thanks for complete view of resources. Jogesh Kumar, Ocean of Knowledge. Thanks so much for me to be online meeting with you today. You're very welcome. Hambo Gumbo, Tim Galway. I did a seminar with Tim Galway. He wrote a fantastic book. I haven't got... John Whitmore's book is the other side of the room, but Tim Galway's, I think, is here. He wrote The Inner Game of Work, and so a very, very big selling and very excellent book from about 2-3 years ago, maybe a bit more, was Daniel Kahneman's Thinking Fast and Slow, where he introduced the words System 1 and System 2 thinking. And by the way, if you are a serious business professional, there aren't many books I will recommend unreservedly as virtually necessary reading, but this one is one of them, Thinking Fast and Slow. If you're not familiar with the ideas in this, they will rock your world. Daniel Kahneman is the only psychologist to have ever won a Nobel Prize. He won it for economics for the work that he did, and he documented in this. But actually, long before Daniel Kahneman wrote about System 1 and System 2, the ideas were around, and Timothy Galway uses those ideas in The Inner Game of Work. He's famous for the inner game of tennis, the inner game of golf, and the inner skiing. But The Inner Game of Work applies those ideas to work. This book came out in 2000, and he talks about Self 1 and Self 2, which is similar ideas, very closely related ideas to System 1 and System 2 thinking. And John Whitmore's coaching approach is all based on the work of Tim Galway. He was trained by Tim Galway. So I've had seminars with Tim Galway and extensive training with John Whitmore, and I feel very privileged to have done so. And this is a good book if you're interested in that. So adds to reading list, says Hambo. Both these books are great. If you're going to pick one, I know you're interested in coaching, but you will learn more from this because some of the core ideas in this are in John Whitmore's book. But the idea of the equation that Tim Galway has in this book of performance is potential minus interference. I can't remember what word he uses, but it's fundamental to the ideas of coaching. And so this is a good book. And if you're a reader and you've got the budget, then get both of them. This, by the way, big fat hardback, because I bought it when it came out, but it is available in paperback, and you'll probably pick up a second-hand copy online if you're happy with second-hand. So great. So what am I going to do next year? I've given you some hints, I think. YouTube, I will continue to make 2 videos every week throughout 2022, as long as I'm healthy and able to. They will continue to come out in the mornings of Tuesday and Thursday UK time. There will continue to be videos in the formats of what is, what are, and how to. I will almost certainly continue, maybe not as frequently going through the year, the top tips formula that I started about 3, 4, 5 months ago. I will almost certainly continue the kind of thought-provoking ones, which are very similar to the newsletters that come out. And by the way, if you're not part of my project management newsletter, check out the description. There's a link. You can get my weekly project management newsletter. And the 5 tips I gave you at the beginning: start intentional, start important, start healthy, start connected, start grateful. Those are 5 tips lifted from my monthly newsletter that goes out to non-project management contacts, to professionals and managers. That goes out monthly, and it's always 10 tips. And today I wrote 10 things to do for 2001, and they were 10 things to start. So I kind of extracted that. So there's a link to that newsletter as well in the description below. So yes, there will be 2 videos a week. There will also be a new interview format. I'm in the process of contacting project managers to invite them to take part in a new interview format. It's a shame Stuart's dropped away, but he does have a young baby in the house, and he does work for a living. But he's one of the first people I hope to interview this year in that new format. If you have ideas for videos you'd like me to make, great if you've got ideas for formats, but particularly for topics you want me to cover, and I'll decide what format they're best suited to. Do put them in the chat, because I have a backlog. Hybrid project management. I have a backlog of ideas, probably about enough for 2 years content, but I'm constantly reprioritizing them based on what people tell me they want to know about. So if you have ideas for videos, do let me know. I will continue to make 2 videos a week also for the management courses site. I will continue to write a 3,000 word or so, 2 to 4,000 word article every week, every Monday, and most weeks it will be of that scale. Occasionally around summer holidays and winter holidays it will be a shorter one, because it just doesn't get the readership. And occasionally there will be guest articles in that slot, typically 3 or 4 guest articles a year over the last few years. I'll be updating the Decode the Jargon of Project Management ebook, and anyone who's got the old one will get a free copy of the new one. But I will also be creating a new series of project management ebooks. I'll be saying more about that in the March live stream, when I hope to be launching the first one. So that will be going out. Oh, by the way, I completely forgot. Bear with me just a moment. One thing I forgot about, which I'm just going to show you now. So years ago, I wrote 2 books for a publisher in the UK called Marshall Cavendish. One was Risk Happens, and one was Smart to Wise. Smart to Wise is the favourite book of mine that I've written. It's dedicated to my daughter. And then shortly after I wrote this book, about a week or two before publication, in fact, and about a year after this came out, Marshall Cavendish announced it was no longer going to be publishing business books. It was going to withdraw from the European, UK, US markets and concentrate on a different type of book in the Asian market. And both of these books immediately were backlisted. A couple of years ago, I finally managed to negotiate to get the rights back. So last Christmas, I republished this in a second edition as a Kindle exclusive because it was no longer available. That is available now on Amazon as a Kindle exclusive. This Christmas, I created a second edition of this book as a Kindle exclusive. Let me just show you that. There it is. It's available to buy, and I will put into the chat, if I can find the chat box, there I are, I've hidden it. I'll put into the chat the link to that book. Smart to Wise is not about project management. It is called The 7 Pillars for True Success, but fundamentally it's about how do you go from being a smart, young professional who knows your stuff to being considered wise by the people around you and the go-to person for advice and guidance. So this is about growing your professional maturity and your career maturity, and it's divided into 7 pillars. I'm going to be talking about it in my newsletter this week, I expect. And the 7 pillars are of wisdom that I've identified are self-mastery, perception, evolution, conduct, judgment, fairness, and authority. And I talk about those. And it's a short book. It's only about 30,000 words, so it's only about 3/5 the size of a book like this, but there's a lot of stuff in it. I'm very proud of it, so I'm very pleased to have it back in print and available to buy at a significantly cheaper price than the hardback would be. So that's that. Anyway, I will be creating a completely new series of project management ebooks, which I'll tell you more about in March, when I hope the first one will be out. It's a series of 8 books. The covers are designed, the format is designed, the content isn't written yet. So I hope to be writing them at a rate of 1 a month, if all goes well. So that'll be coming out. I'll be doing an article every week. I think I said that. If you have ideas for articles you'd like me to write, detailed 3,000 word articles on project management topics, again, let me know in the chat. Drop me an email if you wish. I will, of course, spend the year looking out for opportunities to bring good stuff to you, new ideas. I may develop a new course. I may or may not. I don't know whether I will have time this year to develop a new course. But I would like to. And of course, I will continue my commitment to these monthly live streams. So next month, first Tuesday in February, which is, let me just consult my high-tech calendar. First Tuesday in February is the 1st of February. Wow. So I think was that the first time the first Tuesday's fallen on the 1st since I've been doing these live streams. Anyway, 1st of February, we'll be looking at coaching and mentoring. Hambo. I hadn't made that connection when I read your chat, but I will be talking about coaching and mentoring for project managers and the process of coaching and mentoring and what it means and what its value is. I'll find a way of talking about it to supplement all the content. There is content both on the YouTube channel and in the articles on coaching and mentoring, so I'll be kind of drawing that together, and we'll be talking about coaching and mentoring in February. And then in March, first Tuesday in March should be the 1st of March, because February's and March's are the same, unless it's a leap year. It's not a leap year. So 1st of March, live stream, we'll talk about stakeholder engagement, and I'll also tell you more about the ebooks that I'm promising to create. I do have an announcement for the 1st of February, but I'm not going to tell you what it is because that will spoil it. But suffice to say, if you've been to a number of these live streams, or if you've enjoyed this live stream, then it's an announcement you will want to hear, and hopefully some of you will want to take up the opportunity that it represents. So that's it. that's the plan for next year. Lot going on, so I'm going to flash up on screen my kind of closing slide for this live stream. It's been an absolute delight. Thank you all for making the time. I know we've gone on a bit longer than I planned. Oh, I am sorry, folks. Numbers have dropped off. Not quite so many of you, but I'm going to say goodbye. And if you've got anything you want to add, please do just pop it in the chat, and I will lurk and respond to chat items over the next few minutes. So, thank you very much from me. Have a fantastic 2022, and I look forward to seeing you again on future live streams. Take care.